So we just found out the 41 finalists that will be used to select the 12-player roster for the 2024 Paris Summer Olympics. So what is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? There are 28 players who have represented Team USA in the Olympics before featured here, and 13 other players. And what I thought was going to be a fun video today is to select the Team USA roster into a tier list. So yeah, these are the 41 players that have been mentioned. Shams and Woj, I'll put out kind of this photo right here, which is kind of hard to read. It definitely is. You just got to go through it, and obviously every name is bolded there, but we have all 41 of those names here into the tier list. It's only 12 guys that make it. So we have to cut 29 players, which is going to be tough to do, definitely. Some will be easy, some will be tough. We have starters. We're going to pick the 5 guys that I want out to start. 7-man bench. We have some snubs that I'm like, all right, you know what? If they make it, I'm cool with it. And then we have some easy cuts. If you guys do enjoy these videos, I'd appreciate you dropping a thumbs up. And what's tough about Team USA as well is because these aren't going to be like the all-star rosters, right? You're not taking like the 12 most exciting players, the 12 best scorers, the 12 most popular players. You need them to play in the Team USA system. So if we watched like the FIBA World Cup over the summer, right? Guys like Tyrese Halliburton flourish, Josh Hart, even Austin Reeves at times because they're good passers, defenders, and shooters. But guys like Brandon Ingram definitely struggled because he's kind of a score-first guy at times. Also, Jaren Jackson Jr. struggled as well, at least rebounding the ball. So we're going to go through this. I think we could start off with some easy cuts that I just think there's a 0% chance that they end up making it. I mean, we're going to go through this. Duncan Robinson, fantastic shooter. I was a little shocked that he made that list over guys like Jalen Williams or even like Draymond Green or Klay Thompson at that point. But yeah, I don't think Duncan Robinson is going to be making it. As much as I really like Alex Caruso and his defense, and I think he'd be a great fit on this team, I don't think he makes it. Walker Kessler is incredibly young. He was on the Team USA in the FIBA World Cup last year. The thing is with Team USA, they do lack bigs and especially centers at times. But with Joel Embiid selecting USA as his nationality for the Summer Olympics, they're going to be just fine. So I don't think Walker Kessler will get in either. Cam Johnson, really good shooter, was on the FIBA World Cup team last summer. He's going to get cut. Tower Hero, good scorer as well. He's not going to make it though. Man, I got to pick 12 players, so it's going to be very tough. Josh Hart was good on Team USA last summer, but he's not going to make it either. Man, it's going to be tough for guys like Derek White, because Derek White would be a perfect Team USA guy. Man, he could get like that 12th spot. I'm not going to cut him yet. I think Austin Reeves is going to be an easy cut as well. Obviously, a lot of these guys have been reselected because they were on the team last summer for the FIBA World Cup. And then somebody else I think that needs to get cut is Bobby Portis. He was on that team as well. Yeah, imagine Derek White was on that team last summer. I wonder if they would have been Germany or Canada. All right, Chris Paul too at this point in his career. He's going to be an easy cut. I think there's a 0% chance he makes it. And I don't want to leave like that many snubs either. So who else am I going to be cutting? The thing with Jared Allen is it's going to help that he is a center, and I think like there's not many of them. Like we have Bam, we have Allen, we have Holmgren, and we have Embiid, and I guess we have Anthony Davis as well. Okay, never mind. That is going to be a pretty easy cut for Jared Allen, even though he's a good player. Like, I think Chet has a better chance of making it than Jared Allen does. I guess Aaron Gordon's an easy cut. But he'd be him and like Derek White would be perfect Team USA guys because they're incredible defenders for their positions. They're good shooters. They're fantastic passers. They know when to cut. They know when to slash. They're perfect without the ball in their hands, and they just do everything well. Like these guys would be perfect for Team USA, but they're just not going to make it. There's just too much talent here. We have some of the best players in the NBA, so I don't think they make it. Oh man, this is going to be so tough. So I think with like having AD and Embiid and Bam, I don't think Jaren Jackson Jr. makes it either, and I don't think Chet Holmgren is going to make it because I think those will be the 3 bigs if it's going to be 3 of them between AD and Embiid and Bam. So let's say that like Embiid is the starter, AD comes off the bench for now, and I'm going to say Bam's a snub, but there's a chance I will throw him in the bench too. I don't know if they're going to want 3 bigs. They may realize how undersized they were last year. They relied a little bit too much on Jaren Jackson Jr. to be that big man in that center, and they had guys like Bobby Portis and Walker Kessler and Paolo Banchero off the bench. And like Walker Kessler has the size, but Paolo and Bobby Portis were definitely outmatched to guys much larger than them. So going through this here, I feel like Derek White has a better chance at making it than Drew Holiday. So I feel like Drew Holiday is going to be an easy cut as well. I can only select 12 guys, and I want to have like 5 snubs, I would say. I also think Desmond Bane will be an easy cut as well. Fantastic shooter, but I don't think he provides that defense or playmaking ability that Team USA could want. So I have 23 players left, and we have 3 starters. Oh my god, this is so tough. This is really tough on who I'm going to decide to cut and not. I don't think Brandon Ingram makes it. I don't think he makes it. I think he played pretty poorly and was underwhelming last summer for Team USA. Maybe he would change his style of play. I actually think he's a solid playmaker throughout the regular season. So it was interesting to see him try to acclimate himself to that Team USA ball and kind of failed. So it looks like Steve Kerr will coach this team again. It was crazy when Coach K did it for a while. I feel like a lot of people probably want to see Eric Spoelstra be the head coach, which would be pretty cool as like a Filipino American as well. And I feel like we can all agree that Spoelstra is a better head coach than Steve Kerr right now. But yeah, Steve Kerr is basically going to get it until they tell him not to, or he basically just says, I don't want it anymore. So, I mean, Anthony Edwards was so good last summer. I feel like, okay, let's keep going with the easy cuts because I only want about 5 snubs. As good as Scotty Barnes is right now, I think he's going to get cut. Yeah, these are no longer easy cuts. So you know what? I'm going to actually add like a hard cut, in which I'm going to throw these 5 players right now between Aaron Gordon, Drew Holiday, Chet Holmgren, Scotty Barnes, and Brandon Ingram. Man, Brandon Ingram really does look high in his photo, and Chris Paul looks like he's staring just right at you in his. All right, so do I have any more easy cuts? As much as I love Paolo, I don't think he would make it. I mean, I feel like Paolo played better for Team USA at times last year than Brandon Ingram did, but I feel like he'll be an easy cut just because he's young. He'll eventually get to play in the Summer Olympics once these guys are pretty much done. So I guess we can now go through guys that will definitely be making it. As a starter, I feel like KD will be a starter. I feel like Steph will be a starter. And it's crazy like Kawhi wants to do this too. This just makes it that much more difficult. Jimmy wants to do it. I feel like Tatum is definitely going to make it as a bench player. I don't think he's going to start. I assume LeBron is going to start as well. It's just who's going to get that last spot. Hey, maybe Embiid does come off the bench. Maybe it's AD. Maybe it's Bam that starts ahead of him. And maybe I'm going to have Bam be a snub if I don't think they go more than 2 bigs. But hey, with the injury concerns of AD and Embiid, maybe you want Bam on that team for sure. I feel like the point guards here is going to be so tough. So like if we basically look at all these guards, and even like Devin Booker has been a point guard this year as well, like, oh my god, like just between Anthony Edwards and like Devin Booker, this is going to be insanely tough to do. I think Derek White's going to be a hard cut. I don't think he makes it, but I would not be surprised if he gets like one of those last spots. I think Mikal Bridges will also be a hard cut as well. I don't think Trae Young is going to make it. I think just his sometimes liability on the defensive side of the floor and his inefficiency at times will make him not make it. And there's just better guards here that I think will make it over him. So I think like Devin Booker will definitely make it as a bench player. I think like Kawhi Leonard will definitely make it. He may even be that last starter spot. I may give it to him. I think Paul George will probably make it, but that means I got 2 more guys to choose from. Oh, Paul George has to make it, right? So, you know, I think it's going to be a hard cut just because he's a Hall of Famer. And like, shout out to like Russ knowing he probably wouldn't make this team, and probably similar for Clay and Draymond. Harden should not make this team whatsoever. As much as I love Jalen Brunson, if I'm cutting Trae Young and Mikal Bridges and Derek White, and like he was good for Team USA last summer, he is not going to make it over these other guys. So I think Anthony Edwards will get a spot just because of how good he was last year, and he was the best player. But then I also want to put in Halliburton. That's 7 guys right there. Oh my god. So I think, okay, that's not finalized at all, but I feel like there should be at least 2 guys that were on last summer's team to make it. It is kind of crazy to see that like Harrison Barnes was on the 2016 roster. And I guess DeMar DeRozan knew he wouldn't have made it either. So like, who's going to be that Harrison Barnes guy to make it? But there's so much more talent nowadays. I mean, the 2020 roster had like Keldon Johnson on it, JaVale McGee, Middleton, and Tatum. I mean, it was definitely a different time too, like post-COVID. Oh my god. So I think like Jaylen Brown is not going to make it. I think he's going to be a hard cut as well. If guys like, I think like Trae, Bridges, Brunson, I mean, he's better than those guys, but I don't think he makes it. I think Kyrie gets snubbed. I don't think he ends up making it. Man, this is so tough. Like, am I going to remove Bam? But I feel like they do need 3 big men like that. Obviously, he can't really space the floor as like AD or Embiid can. Like, once Embiid went into this, now it just adds another tough spot. I mean, like, that is a goated 5-man lineup. It's old. Like, Embiid's like the only guy under like 30 years old or 31 years old. Oh man, I feel like they need some youth. I don't think Jimmy makes it. I don't think Paul George makes it. I think like Donovan Mitchell may have a better chance at making it, but I think he's a snub. I think Fox ends up getting snubbed. I think it comes down between Dame, Edwards, and Halliburton, and one of those guys isn't making it. Oh my god, that's so tough. Or it's Bam. You know what? I could make this easy and just remove Bam. You know what? I'm actually stupid. I can keep Bam. That's 7 guys off the bench right there. All right. This whole time I could have kept them. So I think I'm going to keep Bam. I do think they need the big man depth. I'm going to obviously take Tatum. I'm going to take Booker. I'm going to take Ann and Halliburton just because of how good they were last summer. And I'm going to take Lillard over Fox, Mitchell, George, Butler, and Kyrie. You guys can let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with that. That was a very tough decision. I think like the guys that should also be maybe notable snubs would be Jaylen Brown. I think Jalen Brunson and like Trae Young could be notable snubs, but I would not be surprised if like Derek White made it, because he would be a perfect Summer Olympics player to come off the bench. And that is my final list. That is what I'm going to go with. So that was very tough. I hope you guys did enjoy. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, because you have 41 players. You have to eliminate 29 of them and select 12 players. So there is going to be some notable snubs. I hope you guys did enjoy. Drop a like if you did. I love you guys, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.